What is going on, guys? It is Wrestlelamia here, back with some more news. Join us now as we look at this week's edition of Dynamite, as well as the wildest news stories and rumors you need to know, including Roman Reigns heavily criticized, WWE PLE set for France, a big return could be happening at WrestleMania 40, AEW signing a huge name, and much more. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos, and follow us on Facebook for exclusive lists. Also check out our new website, Wrestlelamia.com. Now, as always, we won't recap the show, but just look at the good, the bad, and the downright ugly. As always, we start off with the good as number one, a strong opener. Our last night's show kicked off with a tag team match between Moxley and Wheeler Yuta taking on Orange Cassidy and Hook. The match acted as a great promotional tactic for the Moxley and Cassidy showdown this weekend at Full Gear, as the action in the match was strong and there's definitely interest based off the crowd reactions in seeing Moxley and Cassidy finally settle the score. Number 2, Adam Page takes it to the next level. The rivalry between Swerve Strickland and Hangman Adam Page continues to be the highlight of AEW programming. Last night the two had an intense promo exchange, with Page bringing up several taboo topics. Page would bring up Strickland's WWE firing as well as his family leaving him. The two are set to collide at Full Gear this Saturday in a Texas death match. Number 3, Like a Dragon Street Fight. And the highly anticipated Like a Dragon Gaiden Street Fight went down last night, and it was total insanity. The match saw Kenny Omega, Chris Jericho, Kota Ibushi, and Paul White take on Takeshita, Kyle Fletcher, Powerhouse Hobbs, and Brian Cage. AEW evidently put a ton of effort into making the match memorable, as some of the spots were crazy, including one which saw White receive a body slam onto a car. I don't think man should be doing that right now. Nevertheless, he sold it like death. The match is likely to receive a polarizing response, and we get it wouldn't be for everyone, but it was what it was. It was a fun main event to wrap up the final AEW Dynamite before Full Gear. And the Devil Mystery. AEW's Devil Mystery continued to grow last night, with World Champion MJF cutting a promo on the matter in the main event slot of the show. MJF cut a pure babyface promo where he expected a rare sight of vulnerability and admitted that he's scared about what's going on in AEW. MJF is now set to be challenged by Jay White for the AEW World title this Saturday at Full Gear. But that was the good. What about the bad? It's number 1, Sky Blue vs Red Velvet. Unfortunately, the crowd died instantly when Sky Blue locked up with Red Velvet last night. The crowd are struggling to connect to several talents on the show, and these two are certainly towards the top of the list. The issue is the presentation of the women's division, as outside of few women, most notably Toni Storm and Hikaru Shida, there seems to be a lack of focus on making the women's division actually matter. And there was nothing downright ugly last night, as it did a satisfactory job in building towards Full Gear. But what did you guys think of Dynamite last night? Was it a good enough go-home show before Full Gear? Let us know in the comments down below. Now let's move on to the news. Our first story looks at a top WWE star, Buries Roman Reigns. Our top story today takes a look at recent comments from a former WWE star who has rather negative things to say about the reigning undisputed champion. Former WWE talent Stevie Richards discussed Roman Reigns' recent booking on Raw and SmackDown review show with Vince Russo, and Richards boldly claimed that having an angle with Reigns in the present day can kill a wrestler's career. Stone Cold Steve Austin was probably the most over character outside of The Rock during that time, and probably in the history of the company. So if Austin jobs to Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania, are you saying that Austin's as over as he would be if he won? That's the general consensus. You're talking about a blanket one-to-one analogy to LA Knight or Cody or anybody else. You're getting to the point they all fall short, and here's your consolation prize, so you're less over after that. Like I wouldn't want an angle with Roman Reigns right now, because it would kill my career. Whilst Richards' comments do seem a tad extreme, there has indeed been criticism directed towards how WWE booked Reigns over the past 12 months. Most of his title defenses have been predictable, and heading into the Crown Jewel this month, nobody believed LA Knight had a chance to dethrone Reigns, and this naturally impacted the buzz surrounding the matchup. What do you make of Richards' take? Let us know in the comments down below. Next up, a WWE Hall of Famer defends Roman Reigns. Another criticism that's been directed towards Roman Reigns relates to his schedule. In 2023, Reigns had only worked a total of 11 matches, and this is incredibly low for the man who was supposed to be the face of WWE. NXT commentator Booker T has responded to the criticism on his Hall of Fame podcast, and he doesn't believe it's a big deal that Reigns has a part-time schedule. You know, people are going to find something to complain about all the time. I think one of the biggest complaints was guys work too much. Go back to the old days and just think about how many times Hogan worked on television in a calendar year. Might be less than that, and nobody was bigger than Hogan. Can you imagine a boxer boxing 22 times in a year or an MMA fighter fighting 22 times in a year? 22 times is actually a lot. That's just the way I look at it. So I'll look at the pros and cons of it. If Roman wasn't selling no tickets, we could talk. It's unknown when Reigns will appear on WWE programming again, yet in terms of 2023 dates, Reigns is officially done for the year, as he's not currently advertised for a single show for the rest of 2023. Next up, Backlash 2024 is set to take place in France. WWE announced some major news this morning related to the location of 2024's edition of Backlash. There have been rumors that the show was going to take place in France, and finally WWE have confirmed that the rumors are true and Backlash 2024 will take place in Lyon, France. WWE made an official press release saying WWE as part of TKO Group Holdings today announced that WWE Backlash France will be the first ever premium live event to be held in France, emanating from the LDLC Arena in Lyon on Saturday, May 4th, 2024. Additionally, SmackDown will emanate from the LDLC Arena on Friday, May 3rd, making the first time SmackDown will broadcast from France. The 2024 Premium Live event calendar is already stacked, with shows being confirmed for Australia, Germany, and now France. Next up, a big star to wrestle at WrestleMania 40, and WWE will be gradually building the WrestleMania 40 card behind the scenes in the coming months, and one of the names that could be present on the card is Bad Bunny. According to PW Insider, the talented artist will be free to appear on night 2 of the two-night showcase. That's if he and WWE come to an agreement. Bunny's WWE work has received critical acclaim, and he last appeared on WWE programming back at Backlash when he and Damian Priest tore the house down in Puerto Rico. It's unclear who Bunny could face if he agrees to work WrestleMania 40, yet the obvious booking move would be a match with US Champion Logan Paul. Logan admitted that he's open to wrestling Bunny, and a Logan vs Bunny match would be a guaranteed box office hit. But with that being said, if he can work WrestleMania 40, who would you like him to face? Let us know in the comments down below. Next up, is Logan Paul a future world champion? Logan Paul continues to impress both fans and WWE legends, and the latest legend to offer praise towards Logan is WWE Hall of Famer Kurt Angle. Angle appeared on a True Geordie podcast, and he stated that he's so impressed with Logan that he believes that he'll become WWE champion. He just won the US title. I think that's a great accomplishment for only wrestling your 8th match. I will tell you this, I won the Intercontinental title wrestling my 9th match, so I know the feeling. He's on the level with me and Brock Lesnar. I mean, he really is. I think if he continues on and he has more experience, because he's not quite experienced enough yet, I think if he gets more experience, he's going to be really good, and I think he'll end up being world champion. Would you want Logan Paul to become world champion? Let us know in the comments down below. Next up, backstage news on a recent heel turn. It was announced this week that Rey Mysterio underwent successful knee surgery, and this led to speculation that they rushed into the Santos Escobar heel turn to write Mysterio off TV. But according to PW Insider, that isn't the case, and Escobar's turn was always planned. PW Insider also noted that if Mysterio was fit and well, then WWE would be launching the Mysterio vs Escobar program with immediate effect. Next up, a WWE star receiving backstage praise. Speaking of the recent Santos Escobar heel turn, one of the standout moments of the turn was the acting from Zelina Vega, who sold the angle incredibly well. Vega looked genuinely distraught over what happened, and according to PW Insider, she received praise from those internally in WWE for her role in the segment. There have been quite a few people internally who have raved about Zelina Vega's performance and her emotional work during the Escobar turn on this past Friday SmackDown. Vega has done some film acting work pre-WWE. And finally, AEW is making a major signing. Our final story today takes a look at Tony Khan's latest tweet, which has the wrestling world buzzing. AEW President Tony Khan tweeted, AEW has agreed to terms with one of the world's best wrestlers, a pro who is known and respected by virtually every AEW fan. They'll come to LA to sign their contract this Saturday at Full Gear. Various names are being thrown around on social media, ranging from the likes of Dolph Ziggler and Mickie James to names such as Mercedes Moné and Will Ospreay. Speaking of a recent AEW signing, last night after Dynamite went off the air, Khan confirmed the official signing of Kota Ibushi, which is a significant addition to the AEW roster. But who do you think it will be? Let us know in the comments down below. I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.